Dynasty Warriors Abyss is a little confusing. I want to make rankings, top 10s, best video for Warriors Abyss because I love content where I can collect data and then spit out my results. Those to me are the most fun. That's why I have my polls going on the channel. I just love collecting data, averaging it out, all that stuff to see what I get with the data. However, with getting into Abyss though, there are so many confusing things about it that my data collecting seems a little pointless right now, and I won't seem to really have an answer to who's the best and why until I play with all characters and I really get used to the game. So I will try to compile some data that will result in videos that make sense, but until then, let's talk about some confusing things about Warriors Abyss. First off, Warriors Abyss is surprisingly fun. I've had it for a while, but I never played it until just recently, and I am hooked. It's actually really fun, so shame on me for underestimating it. Starting off, we're gonna talk about the battle power. It's a little misleading. First of all, does it even matter? I went looking into how battle power is calculated, but no one seems to know since the game seems to be more based on like synergy than actual power. Like I would say wisdom and maybe charm raises your battle power the most, but the effects aren't as strong or useful like the ones in skill or speed. Or maybe that can be debated and I'm totally wrong about that too. I've seen people who have said that they have had over 60 million battle power but felt stronger and was doing more damage with teams that only had 6 million battle power. Like, what? That makes absolutely no sense. So from what I've seen, it's more important to focus on the character's ability that you chose versus battle power. For example, having one of the 3 leaders, it seems more important to go for their relative kingdom rosters instead of characters that just give them battle power. But then again, some characters based on their emblems could really help, so it just depends on who you get in the rotation. But for the most part, you'll focus on like Wei for Cao Cao, Shu for Liu Bei, and Wu for Sun Jian to maximize the power you output with them. Similarly, like I'm working through some characters right now. I just did Sima Zhao, Gan Ning, and Zheng He, and they have some different mechanics that I'm getting used to. For example, Sima Zhao is in the Jin Kingdom, and that's kind of what his ability revolves around, and he gets a significant, I believe, attack boost. I could be wrong about that. I forgot which one he had, but he gets a significant boost, like 10% per character because there's not a lot of Jin characters. And then for someone like Gan Ning, who doesn't have a stacking effect except for with the speed emblem, is someone I don't really know who to focus on in terms of what to get. I just kind of go for who has the best synergy and gives me the most battle power with him because he doesn't have that stacking effect. Unlike Zheng He, who I just did Traversal 1 with, he has the Grace ability. So characters that have the Grace title raises Zheng He's one of his stats by a certain amount. I think it's like 5% attack when you get characters with the Grace emblem. So when I'm looking for characters playing through them, I focus on getting those characters after I get my speed boost, of course, because I think speed is the most important, at least to level 4, which I guess I can talk about in a little. I'm starting to understand it a little bit, but it is still confusing. But it just seems that instead of going for battle power straight out the gate, when you are building a team based on a character, you go for what their ability is tended for. And that's what seemed to yield the best results with my characters. As of this video, I have Traversal 4 completed with Liu Bei, and I have a pretty strong feeling I can get through Traversal 6 with him. We'll see how it goes, because I heard Traversal 6 is a nightmare. For the most part, it seems that battle power isn't really the best indication of strength. Another good example would be the relics. I forget what it's called, but the relic that increases your assemble charge like by a certain percent seems to yield the highest battle power. But is it the strongest relic? I don't think so. The only reason I beat Traversal 4, by the way, is because I had the relic that allowed me to revive after being killed 1 time. That's the only reason, because I got killed during the final boss, during the final bite with the true form of Guma, and I died, and then I got reset back to full health, and it was an easy win after that point. So it's hard to say when battle power is the thing to go with or when you should go with the things that's more synergetic or more useful for you during a run. Next up I want to talk about is elements don't seem to be useful. So I've read that elements are the least useful out of all the emblems. So the first 6 that you have are much more important and useful versus focusing on the elements. And it seems if you do go the element route, you should only focus on one of them instead of multiple, which I would think if you had all 5 equally and were throwing down powers like the Avatar, that would yield you some like super powers, but I think I'm wrong. There's certain characters that I think yield better results from an elemental focus. I believe, what is his name? I can see his face, but I don't know his name. It's a Samurai Warriors character. I've been doing a lot of research for Abyss and just seeing what people have come up with and stuff, because there's not a lot of content on like what's good with this game, like the best stuff and everything like that. I don't see a lot of content for it. So I think he's a Hojo. I can't remember his name though, but if you stack the wind element on top of him, apparently it's supposed to make him extremely powerful, and it really stacks into his ability. And that was actually the person that had over 60 million battle power, and he showed the screenshot that his wind element was maxed out. So it seems to me that if you're gonna go for an element, just max out one of them, which I tried to do, but when you get to the harder traversal levels, it's like you get limited pretty easily, so it's tough to really get that every single time. Next up we have formations. Do formations really matter, in the sense that should I really be paying like attention to them? Like, does it matter that some formations lower the battle power versus others? There was a formation that I ran into in one of my runs with Liu Bei actually, and it creates a shield where you take no damage for that you're using the assembles. But then people will say that the 8 gates formation is the strongest because you get 50% attack bonus on all of the slots, which is also really good as well. But anyway, this is one of the facets I just truly don't understand yet. If anyone has a better understanding, let me know down below. But besides the fact that battle power doesn't seem to really matter, why would you choose a character that has lower battle power for the form instead of a higher one? So when I use the formations, I just have it auto it. I don't manually select characters to be put in unless I really like their abilities. Like Sao Ren has a really cool ability, Pang Tong has a really cool ability. So sometimes I will manually put those people in, but replacing them with other people doesn't make any sense. I think the little markers, the little level up looking things, is an indicator of how well they are synergized with that formation in that specific slot, but I am not entirely sure. I just don't really know the effect of changing characters to different positions in the form or switching them out, and how they affect one another besides their summoning skill, which is really easy to understand. So if someone's in slot 1 and I move them down to slot 4, it changes the battle power, but I am not sure why. So if someone has the answer to that, I would love to know. Again, when it comes to understanding the formation, when I get to really understand the skills, that's when I will want certain characters over it. But honestly, during my runs, I'm really just autoing the formation. I'm not really paying attention to it. Like Nene has a really cool summoning skill as well. I believe her skill is that she can pull, like when she gets summoned, she pulls other characters with that exact same title. So when you pull her, you pull the other 4 or 5, and you get a 1 for 5 deal when you summon her, which was really cool. Some other ones have like really good summoning attacks as well, like Guan Yu, Zheng Fei, Gan Ning has some really big explosions. The archers have the arrow things coming down. You know, from the significant run-throughs that I've played through, it just seems that most of the summoning attacks are pretty strong. But besides that, it's really hard to understand the significance of the form and where each character is supposed to go. Next up, we have cumulative level. At the time of writing this, I had no idea what it meant or entails. But it seems that after every 50th level, that is when these characters upgrade. At the time of this recording, my Liu Bei was only at level 54 and my Guan Yu was at 0. But Guan Yu was much stronger in his stats. So it was interesting to see that. I wonder if it was just based on the lore of the character, like Guan Yu being one of the strongest characters, the god of war. Maybe that's why he's so strong. After getting Liu Bei through traversal level 4, he's over 200 now. So he's a much stronger character now. And it seems that you get these cumulative levels after you've either completed or died during a run. Another thing I was looking for in Warriors Abyss, maybe I'm just not looking in the right place, but I searched the menu. I just couldn't find it. Just too bad there's not really more of a help section, like something you can like click on to just learn more about it. Maybe there's a website that I don't know about that I can do more research into. But in the game itself, it seems like there is no help section. Like I know they had a tutorial for the beginning when, you know, new things pop up, but it seemed really limited, really non-existent after you've gotten started, which isn't that good, because I was looking for tidbits or explanations on things to help out, like the titles and things like that. I guess the titles don't mean anything except for stacking for certain abilities, you know, but do they mean anything else besides that? Like if you're a character of Wei, do you get extra attack or anything? I don't think so. I guess that's not a thing. It would have been nice to have a help section to explain some of these other things, so that way you can always reference them and kind of go through like that manual kind of thing to understand what's going on. But when I get a handle on the game and I feel like I'm getting a little bit there, I'm definitely going to be releasing things to help people who need it, who enjoy the game. And I would say at a basic level, I would say just follow what I said before. Push the things that help increase your character's abilities or help stack their ability. Plus, when you're doing elemental focus, try to stay on one if you can. Because I'm telling you, at Traversal 3 and up, you're really limited on being able to kind of freely get the ones you want. And being able to get the exact build that you want seems to be quite tricky to do. Warriors Abyss overall, I would say, is a great game, though. I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. I've never played a roguelike before. That's what it's called, right? Roguelike? rogue, like something like that. Anyway, I just love the arcadey, almost non-investment needed to enjoy the game. Like if I wasn't a content creator, I could see myself just hopping on to play and just have fun with it. Like it's a great time filler or just something that allows you to play through real quick. And hopefully through more and more playthroughs, I'll be able to answer the questions I really want to answer. Like which characters are the best? Is it really Cao Cao and Sun Jian, or Lu Bu and Yukimura, the adult version, or Tadakatsu, I've heard, is really strong. You know, who is actually at the top of the chain, or are they supposed to be all even? Is there even a best character, or are they all relatively the same? Because if you just find each of their optimal builds, will that be enough to make it feel like all characters' power levels are even? You know, I got a lot of ideas for Abyss, but nothing I can cemently, is that a word? Cemently commit to. Because I can't, with definitive proof yet, say who's the best from an objective standpoint, just because I don't know what the measure of what the best is just yet. Is it attack and battle power? Is it based on the abilities, the unique weapon abilities, and the power that would come from building into that, along with the formations and summoning skills, part of that form that makes the character better? Or is it a combination of all of it? Knowing how these things usually go, it's probably that, which means I got a lot more work to do. See you guys in the next one.